Mehek. I hope you guys are all fine, and like always, I also hope that you guys are reading. Back with the book of the week that I finished. It's called Tuesday with Morrie. It's by Mitch Albom. It's a paperback. Now I know most of you have read this book already. I'm a little late to the party, but I have read another title by this author, The 5 People You Meet in Heaven, and I absolutely love it. So if you're someone who has not checked out this author or read his titles, I recommend you strongly do that because it's amazing. Coming to the book, what the plot line is. So this book is actually a memoir by Mitch Albom. It's a very thought-provoking and heartwarming memoir in which he basically records or talks about the visits that he made to his former sociology professor, whose name is Morrie, who is suffering from a terminal illness. So this book basically records all those conversations that Mitch has with his professor on various topics, about life, love, relationship, family, death in general. To give you a little background of Mitch and Morrie, who they are. Mitch actually meets Morrie during his graduation days. Morrie soon becomes his, a mentor and a guide to him, and they share a very warm, sweet relationship, a very pure teacher and student relationship. But however, once Mitch graduates, they lose touch, and Mitch actually goes on to become a sports journalist, a famous one. And he has everything. He has all the material wealth, and he's married, has a wonderful wife. His days look pretty busy. But what he doesn't have is happiness. So he's not really a happy person. And now 20 years later, one day he's just sitting and he's watching his TV, and he suddenly sees Morrie being interviewed by a journalist. And he's immediately curious, and that's when he decides to reconnect with his old professor, and he visits to his place. Once he reaches Morrie's house, he looks at his old professor and he sees what this terminal illness has done to him, and he thinks about his promise where during the graduation day he says that I'll always be in touch, but he doesn't do that. So thinking all that, he freezes at that spot. But Morrie, being the wonderful teacher and the sweet wise man, he comes and he hugs Mitch, and he tells him that, hey old friend, finally you came back. And that's when the whole visits and the major plotline of the book starts. So when Morrie and Mitch meets, Morrie tells Mitch that, I'm dying, right? So why don't I tell you that what it feels like? So that's when the whole meeting starts. What happens after that is that they start meeting every Tuesday in Morrie's study, and Morrie starts taking class for Mitch, but this time it's not a typical academic class. This time they're studying about life, and there's only one student, that is Mitch, and they meet every Tuesday. That is why the title of the book, Tuesdays with Morrie. Now, like I mentioned earlier, during these visits, Morrie talks about everything, about life in general. So the book is actually distributed in various chapters. So these chapters ranges from about relationship, forgiveness, regret, life, death, love, family, and topics like that. So in every chapter, we have Morrie who imparts certain wisdom to Mitch, and basically tells him that how important it is to live life to the fullest. Now, the general theme or the common message, that Morrie is basically trying to tell Mitch is that a lot of people, walk around with their life and keep doing meaningless things. But instead, it is so important to live every day to the fullest, to find purpose in your everyday life, to give love to people, to surround yourself with love, and to find purpose in your daily life, connect with people, have a sense of community. So he says that is very important to lead a meaningful life. And we see that while he's imparting this wisdom, he also kind of inspires, or I would say gives insight to Morrie, to Mitch, to how to tackle his own personal life and the challenges that he is facing in his own life. Now there are many messages or I would say many wonderful wisdom that our professor, old and wise and sweet Professor Morrie, shares in the book. But some of them that really stood out to me is, the first one is that live every day as it's your last. So don't waste any day. Do things that you really enjoy doing and you find purpose in it. So do not waste your life. It's the only one that you have. The next lesson that Morrie gives us is a very important message, and it's about love. He says that it is so important that you surround yourself with love. It is so important that you give love to people. He often uses this quote in the book: love or perish. So he says there's no other way. Like, either you learn how to love, or you're just going to perish. So it is so important that you give love to people. The third thing that is again very important in the book, which he says, is that we all shouldn't be fearing death. It is something that comes to each one of us. And the sooner we realize that, the sooner we are going to start valuing our life and start living it to the fullest. So we should absolutely not be fearing death. And lastly, there's a wonderful quote in the book which is on teachers. It says that a teacher's influence is actually till eternity. You never know when it might strike to a student, or when the student might find it useful. And I totally agree to it. I have been so blessed and grateful to have teachers and a mentor in my life, who's always guided me and mentored me and given me absolutely wonderful advice, and I'm so grateful to each one of them. Even I have found wonderful teachers in the school, and till date I remember some of their wisdom that they have imparted, and small things which are still useful. So I think it is so important that all of us, all the Mitch around, they find their Morrie, they find a wonderful mentor in their life. And yeah, so this is what majorly the book is all about. I think if you are someone who is looking to be inspired, I strongly recommend this book, as it is filled with lessons from this old man, professor, who has seen the ups and downs of his life, and who has accepted his situation with a lot of gratitude and humility. So I think which is one of the greatest lessons also in this book. So yeah, if you're looking to be inspired, pick this book filled with lessons on how to live life with a sense of purpose, with the sense of community, and with this notion that it is so important that you surround yourself with love and give double the amount of love to others. Because at the end of the day, the professor says, when I'm dying, I see my family and friends and well-wishers, and that is what counts. The love, that is what counts, not the material wealth that you accumulate. So yeah, I think it was a wonderful book. I strongly recommend you guys to read. However, what I also feel, that if you're someone like me who has read many self-help books and on number of these topics, you might not find something new with regards to the wisdom imparted. I mean, you will definitely enjoy the relationship that they share. It's a beautiful book, but it's also a sad book, when the last class happens and they say goodbye, it's going to break your heart. But so you're going to enjoy all that. There is humor and there is amazing relationship shown in the book, and overall the plot is very engaging. But if you have read a lot of self-help books, you might not find something new in this book, and that is what I felt. Maybe if I would have read it many years back, I would have been like, oh my god, yeah, this is what I wanted to hear. but I don't think so any of the lessons imparted in this book is something that I've not read in the other self-help books, you know. But nevertheless, like it says here, it is packed with life greatest lesson. I mean, these are the lessons that you, no matter how many times you hear, you know, it's equally important. So yeah, strongly recommend this book. You should be reading it. That's all for today's book review. I'm going to see you guys next week with another title, which I'm really excited about. It's a fantasy novel on fairies. So yeah, I'm going to see you in my next book review video. Till then, take care. Bye-bye.